You know, it was 3 years ago this summer, July 2010. I get picked up at Dulles. I'm in town for a speech or something. Driving on the way to the hotel. By the time I get to the hotel from Dulles, the taxi driver has read me his original poem. This is a sonnet. It was like 10 pages long, devoted to Stephen Strasburg.
Little weird.
No, well, yes and no. I mean, when a baseball player and a baseball team can capture the imagination of a city, like Stephen Strasburg did that rookie year, and the Nationals have done the last couple of years, things like that happen. And it told me at that time, wow, the Nats are something special. Stephen Strasburg is something special. And this is a team to watch. And I've been loving him ever since. Joining us now, he is Brian McNally. He's the Washington Examiner Nationals beat reporter. You're actually on your way to the park right now for today's game.
Headed down there, guys. Should be a fun day.
Well, talk to me about it. This is the first day for the National League, the very first game of the season for the National League, and it's Miami Marlins in town. How do the Nats stack up against the struggling Marlins?
They stack up pretty good. The Marlins are a complete disaster. They sold off. They brought in a bunch of star players last off season. Sold their fans on the excitement of a new stadium, and then had a terrible year. Fired their manager and got rid of pretty much everybody except Giancarlo Stanton. So I'd say the Nats stack up pretty good in this one. This is kind of the perfect opening series for any team.
Meanwhile, Brian McNally, the Nats are everybody's favorite pick to go all the way, including, oh my God, I can't believe it, Sports Illustrated. How screwed are we already?
It's pretty screwed in that case. As long that SI's gone to these regional covers now, so I don't know if the SI jinx has quite the power it once did, but it's always a little disconcerting when they pick you. But yeah, if you scroll through all the national websites, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, USA Today, all the big ones, they inevitably pick the Nats to win the NL East. It's probably not going to be that easy. It never is. But certainly going in, they're the favorite to win the division, with the Braves probably next, and we'll see what the Phillies have this year. They're the aging Phillies, but they still have some bite left in them.
Hey, Brian, Dan Bongino here. Thanks for joining us. You know, you get we have the easy questions. Bryce Harper, Stephen Strasburg, we get it. But who do you think's the unsung hero this year for the Nats? Every team has one. At the end of the year, you have that guy who came out of nowhere. Maybe it's a utility player, maybe it's a bullpen guy, maybe it's a starting pitcher. But who do you think has a potential to really excite folks?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of interesting guys on this team that you kind of have to watch for to see, how they contribute. I think a guy like Dan Herron, who they signed, technically, I guess, to be their fifth starter, but Dan Herron's a guy that 7 times has thrown more than 200 innings. He's pitched in the postseason. He's been the ace of pretty good teams, playoff teams. This is the guy they brought in to kind of replace Edwin Jackson, and if he's healthy, obviously the rotation becomes just that much better with Strasburg and Gio Gonzalez, Jordan Zimmerman, Ross Detweiler. It was already good enough. If a guy like Dan Herron is healthy and producing, that takes it to the next level. And then it also gives you some insurance. If somebody gets hurt, somebody spends a month or two on the disabled list, you don't feel like you're scrambling for solutions or throwing out guys who aren't ready. You feel like you have some depth to get through, and that's what happened with the Nats last season with their lineup. They had a ton of injuries the first half of the season,
right,
but they were still in first place at the All-Star break because they had guys capable of filling in for weeks or even a couple months at a time. And that's what if you're going to win 95 or 100 games, you have to have that. So Dan Herron's an interesting guy to watch to see how that develops.
Brian McNally covers sports for the Washington Examiner. You can find his stuff, of course, at WashingtonExaminer.com, and you're the beat reporter for the Nationals, Brian. And people have always said that Washington is obviously a football team, the football town. The Redskins own this town, and you've covered the Caps, and they've really been succeeding recently up until this strike season that we've had, which I think that a lot of people can excuse, and we'll wait for next year. But the way the Nationals have now sort of really gained momentum, is it possible that Washington, D.C. might turn into a baseball town, or have they already gotten there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a much more well-rounded sports town than it would have been 10 or 15 years ago, for sure. A true baseball town, I think that might take a generation and a lot of winning teams. There's a reason places like St. Louis and Boston and all these cities, Detroit's probably another one where baseball has always kind of held sway.
It perseveres even when the team is not doing well, like a city like Detroit. Yeah.
Exactly, but we haven't had that here. I mean, some people, it's a very mixed area. Obviously, some people are still Oriole fans. Some people just didn't get into the Nats because they were terrible for 5-6 years. So that's going to take some time to become a true baseball town. But just in terms of well-rounded sports towns, I mean, obviously we know DC has great basketball tradition. The Wizards would probably take off if they could ever get it together. We've seen what the Caps have done the last couple of years, and now the Nats are kind of fusing that. They're hitting with the perfect storm of good team plus star players, and that's a recipe to get 40,000 people out at the ballpark.
Yeah,
right. It's amazing how far we've come too. Remember the RFK games? They were dreadful. I mean, they get like 900 fans at the end of the season. But I think Larry, you agree. Strasburg really turned it around. People had a reason to go to the ballpark. And what worries me, Brian, is he's never pitched over 160 innings. I was looking at your cheat sheet here. But that's a lot of stress on the arm for a young guy. I mean, do you think he's prepared? Is he rehabbed enough? Is he ready to go for the long haul?
Well, he's ready to go. I mean, he would tell you he was ready to go last year, but certainly we saw in September, late August, that he looked like he was fading, and that was what Mike Rizzo, the Nats GM, was going to use as the basis to shut him down at 100, around 160 innings. This year, he's going to be. I'm not going to say he's going to be pitching complete games, every week. I don't think that would be smart either, because, like you said, he's never pitched over 160 major league innings, but. You're going to see him, his goal is to get to 200. He kind of sees that as the mark of any true ace pitcher. And I think he's right. If he is that, if he's a Justin Verlander type guy, then he's got to pitch 200, 210 innings even before you get to the playoffs.
Brian McNally, it's game one of 163. We're going to watch your byline all summer long as you follow the Nationals there. And quickly, real fast, the real important question. Is it going to be Teddy winning on opening day today? Do you think that the Taft could win, or is it going to be Lincoln or Jefferson like usual?
Yeah, I'm going to. You know what? Let's go with Taft. I sense some hijinks.
Wow, Taft in his very first race, right out of the box. There you go. You only
right out of the box.
Right here. All right, Brian McNally, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brian.
Oh, I just love that sound.